Good morning, everyone. On behalf of Amity School of Communication, Mumbai, I, Nidhi Veragade, welcome you to the guest talk with ace journalist Ms. Alka Dupkar ma'am on new interventions in journalism, a gender perspective. The talk is organized to mark the birthday celebration of Honorable Chancellor Sir Dr. Asim Chauhan and for celebrating Innovation Day. We convey our best wishes to you, sir. It gives us immense pleasure to welcome you to yet another webinar dedicated to the field of knowledge of media and the world. ASCO promises all-round development of the students, and thus, even during the time of pandemic and online mode, MIT School of Communication has successfully conducted 7 webinars dedicated to all the fields of mass communication. And today's talk is yet another such venture dedicated to comprehensive and exhilarating media studies. I welcome you all. Today, we have with us young and extremely talented ace journalist, Ms. Alka Dupkar ma'am. Ma'am is a multilingual journalist based out of Mumbai, Maharashtra, and is currently working with Times Internet Limited as an assistant editor. She has been a journalist for last 17 years and has notable contributions in the field. She has been honored with prestigious awards for her contribution in the field of journalism, such as Chameli Devi Jain, Ramnath Goenka Excellence in Journalism Award, and Likho Award. She is recipient of Asian Journalism Fellowship, largely UNFP Fellowship. Ma'am has previously worked with esteemed newspapers in Marathi and English. For 7 years, she worked in a Marathi news channel, IBN Lokmat, and traveled across India to cover a range of political and social issues. She is a fierce media professional and activist known for her work in investigative journalism. Her coverage on the investigation of rationalist Dr. Narendra Dabholkar murder, drought in Marathwada, female foeticide, problem in Maharashtra, caste and gender-based violences, and so on, are well appreciated and well received by the viewers and the readers. We welcome you, ma'am.
Thank you very much.
Dr. Nima ma'am is also here with us, who's going to conduct the program. To give you the introduction of Dr. Nima ma'am is something which we cannot cover just for today's session. Dr. Nima ma'am is a dynamic personality. She is the HOI and Associate Professor of Media and Communication at Amity University, Mumbai. Although Dr. Nima ma'am gives credit to the School of Hard Knocks, also known as Life for her knowledge acquired. She has gained formal education in multiple spheres, which includes a PhD in applied arts. List of her remarkable work is, of course, very long. Some of her notable broadcast works include short film Rolling, which received international recognition at Berlin International Film Festival. Television shows for which ma'am worked for are Main Hoon for Times biographies of Bollywood technicians, for Times of India on Zoom channel. For the show, she interviewed renowned personality from Ashok Mehta, Alan Amin, Binod Pradhan, Bosco, Remo D'Souza, Ravi K. Chandran, and many more. Nima ma'am has also worked with MTA Bajao and mainstream feature films as well. She is also the part of documentary for Amir Khan Productions for Jaane Tu Ya Jaane Na and Lagan Archive, 10 years of Lagan, Dawn, Rock On, My Name is Khan, Wake Up Sid, Ye Jawani Hai Diwani, Gajni, Devdi, Barfi, and the list is on. She contributed for over 60 plus features, including on-air promos and music videos. In addition, she has also organized webinars for MIT University, Mumbai on filmmaking. Dream It, Create It, and Creative Paradigms in Higher Education. Dr. Nima ma'am has also not lost touch with the mainstream media, yet she continues to work with same spirit and zeal. And last but not the least, she has worked on Anushka Sharma's Pari and Anurag Basu's Ludo, a major hit across all the nations. In regards to advertising industry, she has been a part of most recent ad films like Imtiaz Ali's Oppo ad, Bajaj Social Stories, Siat, Maruti Swift, and many more. There is so much more to add on to ma'am's work. But And we are happy to have you with us, ma'am, and for conducting such an event for us. Now, I request you to please proceed further with the program.
Thank you. Thank you, Nidhi, for such a wonderful introduction. Sometimes I really wonder this, the story goes on, but thank you so much. And I would like to welcome Miss Alka Dupkar, ace journalist, Times Group. And ma'am, we welcome you on the webinar, New Interventions in Journalism. Alka, you can unmute yourself. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, thank you. So, Alka, first of all, I'd like to tell all the students and faculties and all the viewers who are watching us right now live, I it's wonderful to have a conversation with a woman journalist. It is something that I always look forward to. A woman who is representing so many aspects of life, like health, education, and critical issues, related to violence and gender, particularly. And it is, according to me, is a great achievement because the polarity of life, the difficulties, the tangents that one has to go through in order to assert and in order to interpret these issues is extremely challenging. And we have with us Ms. Alka Dupkar, who is a true example and epitome of the kind of work, the kind of courage that she has shown in this entire span of her life. So it's a delight to have you, Alka, here with us, and a very, very warm welcome to Amity University, all right, and Amity School of Communication.
Yes, thank you very much.
Alka, to start with, you have a very, excellent work profile, as a matter of fact. But we would like to know how you evolved, as a journalist. What can you tell us your, early days, how it, the impressionist days, the times, the formative years of your life, like your journey, your evolution, if you could talk about.
I'm sorry. Yes. Hello, everyone. I can see there are many students and they are willing to become journalists in future and they are looking forward to this speech. So thank you, everyone, for joining this session. I will try to not bore you or I will not try to give any lecture here. We'll have a frank, open conversation. Please don't call me ma'am. You can call me Alka. And please pardon me with my cough and cold. So basically, to start with, I will okay. Now I will start with my as you have asked early days. So in my college days, after I've given my 12th exam, I decided to become a journalist. How and what I will come to that point. So I was from my first year of college, I was doing my BA in Pol Science. So I had joined Marathi newspaper, and that's where I was working as a student reporter. So I have worked as a student reporter for 3 years in Sindhudurga district. First in Sawantwadi Taluka, then in Kudal Taluka. I was getting education in different taluka. That was Vengurle. I know many of you are not aware of Maharashtra's geography, but to give you a perspective, I come from a village which has a population of around 2,000 person, and I was the first female journalist from my village, to say the least, not if not the first journalist, because there were few male journalists from my village, those who were working in regional papers. So when I decided that I'll become journalist and I joined as student reporter, I was traveling first from Maharashtra government's MSRT buses. I used to travel. Then I bought a second-hand bicycle and I used to go on cycle. So in Marathi, they used to call me cycle wali reporter these days. Okay, and people used to make fun of me because I have to say this thing that in my whole career, I have always met great male colleagues. So when I started reporting as a student reporter, I was the only female journalist among them, and I had all these male friends. They used to take care of me as a friend, not as a like female or anything. We used to get snacks for each other, chai, kaha jana hai. So we all were good friends. but they used to always tease me कि ये क्या करोगे, आगे जाके क्या करोगे, what is the future, what are the perspective of your field, and you are a female, you have to get married, and what will you do with your experience, why are you wasting your time? And I used to cover from accidents to cultural activities to Jilla Parishad meetings, to Gram Panchayat meetings and Panchayat Samiti meetings. I used to cover everything. It took me some time to understand what I was covering was actually 74th Amendment and Panchayat Raj, which is now important. I'm sure many of you
Wow.
have watched Panchayat Raj series,
Right.
if not visited or
Right.
attended any Gram Panchayat meeting. But all the Panchayat Raj education I got on field because I used to cover all these meetings. Then we talk about cultural importance and how culture, history, heritage, and rural India is, integrated. We have to understand it. We just cannot criticize it, or we cannot take any neutral stand without understanding it. So I used to cover a lot of, say, in my village, if you go ever to Kudal, you will find Adivasi Kala Angad. So we had Chitrakathi. Kudal is very famous. Pinguli is very famous this year. Mr. Gangaune is awarded with Padma. If you are from Maharashtra, you must visit that place one day. It is a tribal museum. So in those days, 17 years back, I used to cover about Chitrakathi, the local jatra, and all the cultural activities. It gave me a perspective. I don't cover all these cultural activities anymore because I'm busy covering more policy level issues today and political affairs. But it enhanced my understanding. And without my field reporting, so there are two approaches. You come from ACJ, MET, or say JAMA, or say any foreign university, and then you go for parachute reporting in villages, and then you see some lamp, you see something, anything which is related to poverty, anything which is related to rural India, and you are just amused. uh, that is reporting number one. And reporting number two, I would say what I did, I came from village, I came from rural Maharashtra. My We used to do farming, paddy, till the age of 21, 22. I used to do paddy farming work at with my family members. During my college days, as I told you, I was a student of political science. We used to go for cattle raising. So because we had no idea, like career is such a big thing, we have to pay attention and everything. It was just I wanted to give that push. Even today, I'm the only family member who is earning or who is doing some job, so during cattle grazing, I completed my education. So my point is, it is not the surrounding, you're sitting in air conditioned office or air conditioned house and fully equipped, technologically equipped house, and then you will achieve something or do great stories. Nothing sort of those things. Wherever you are, you can focus on your surrounding, you can try to understand how people are living there, what are their real issues, try to understand how the government is running there, how the societies govern there, and all these issues. You may feel at that time that this is useless, I'm wasting my time, as main character in Panchayat Raj is feeling. But trust me, after spending few years, it will enhance your understanding, and you will never regret all your experience. So those were my early days. I shifted from one college to another college, but I continued my job, and then I shifted to Pune. In Pune, I worked as assistant reporter for over a year in Pune city. Again, I came from a village which was of a population of 2000, and I came to city like Pune, which was cultural hub of Maharashtra. And obviously, it changed everything for me. I didn't know what is left, what is right in politics, what is Lal Bauta and what is Shiv Sena, what is Congress, all these ideological debate. Everything I got to know in Pune, and that helped me. After that, in 2003, around October, I came to Mumbai, and since then I have been a Mumbaiker. I'm enjoying from Mumbai. Yes, for work I travel to different places from Tawang to Gujarat, to Manipur, wherever my work is required. I travel to places, but I try to understand that I have to do work which is people centric. I don't want to become a story. Unfortunately, today I'm telling my story, which I don't like generally, because our job is to tell stories about people.
Very
And so, wherever you are, you must think about people. You should have dialogue with people. You should have a conversation with people of different category, not only
diverse.
with poor,
Yeah,
correct, not only with
diverse.
poor, women, children, teachers, professors, everyone. विद पॉलिटिशियन आप अगर कोई गांव में है अभी वर्क फ्रॉम होम चल रहा है तो आई मीन स्कूल इज ऑनलाइन यू कैन गो एंड हैव अ चैट विथ योर कॉर्पोरेटर you
Right.
can go and have a chat with your panchayat samiti member elections are coming so you can if you can meet some pa of your mp it
Right.
will give you that pa after 10 years will become a chief minister you never know so your focus you have to decide and then accordingly you have to keep engaging in the continuous homework. It is
Absolutely.
not कि मैंने 10 साल पहले मैंने कितनी पढ़ाई की मैंने इंडियन फिलोसोफर पढ़े मैंने इंडियन पॉलिटिकल थिंकर पढ़े बाद में मैंने वेस्टर्न पॉलिटिकल थिंकर पढ़े बाद में मैंने सोशल वर्क के बारे में पढ़ा बट दैट प्रोसेस हैज नॉट स्टॉप
That's
सो
wonderful.
या
That's wonderful, wonderful, Alka. I think, I mean, after knowing your story, like, from a very young age, you were very curious about, knowing new things, identifying with stories, and you always had that zeal to create stories and narrate stories. I think that was your biggest strength because that intrigued you and kept your journey on to this day, finding new things and finding new stories each day. I think that's a very big take home value for all the students today, that don't give up on your good points and be inquisitive. Try, be curious as possible, and go out and search for a story and narrate that story. I
Yes,
think that is
Dr.
what.
Nirma, if may I add one thing, I want to tell you, these days people are very focused about their language. I mean,
Right.
how you are speaking, how fluent you are speaking, English, Hindi, Marathi, whatever your language is, and
Correct.
from which education you are getting your degree from. So to give the perspective when you have asked about my early days, so I will tell you that we used to walk to our school till SSC, okay? 3 kilometer or 3 kilometer, मतलब 6 kilometer तो वो रोज का था. Because in rural India, everyone is doing it.
Right.
I did not achieve something great. This is a routine in rural India. I don't want to overhype the things, but I'm just telling you. So I have completed my education from a Jilla Parishad school in my village, and it did not affect me adversely. Let me tell you. So whoever is coming from rural India, whoever is coming from a financially backward class, or somewhere where your family is not uh, able to fulfill all your dreams, please don't give up on your dream. The sky is the limit. World has all possibilities. So just keep trying. That is what I want to tell you.
Very true. Very true. I totally agree because that is the truth, that is the real of yourself. And you should never ignore that and never deny that. And we are very proud of you, Alka, because I must say that you truly represent India and the woman in India because this is a reality. And this is a reality that is faced by so many women, but not everybody gets an opportunity, not everybody has the courage, not everybody are fierce in accepting the challenge and doing justice to it, because being righteous itself is a very big responsibility, to be right at every walk of life. But I think you have done a commendable job from where you have come, and it's a very inspirational story for all of us. In fact, all the students who are watching today, including the faculties, because we all have our own stories, but the struggle makes it unique, as a matter of fact, and the challenges. So moving ahead, I would like to call, is Ramya with us, Nidhi, today? Ramya is one of the students studying in BJMC, and she had a very interesting question, because you have seen the entire journalism field very closely. So, Ramya, would you like to address a question to ma'am?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
Good morning, ma'am.
Hi, good
My
morning.
question is that how do you see journalism 20 years back versus how do you see journalism today?
Oh, Divya, thank you for asking your question, frankly. The scenario has changed completely. 20 years ago, we did not imagine. Yes, we did hear whisper of future that print is going to die, journalism is going to change, digital is the new future. But we had no idea what does that mean actually at that time. Print is going to die. Yes, it is a reality, sad but very harsh reality of current time in journalism. But nobody thought that in today's time, journalism will be replaced by entertainment. Journalism will be replaced by whatever jingoistic personalities they are doing today on television sets. Nobody imagined that we have to compete with them. Nobody imagined that we have to compete with misinformation one day, 20 years down the day. We were thinking that the society, we as a like journalists, and we as a country, we are becoming wiser. But unfortunately, the journey has become on opposite road. And yes, we are here today fighting with misinformation and fighting with basic facts, like history is taught in wrong manner, misinformation is provided on WhatsApp. And so as we are talking about MIT University, every day we talk about WhatsApp University. I mean, the great institutions like this, they are spending and investing all the resources to educate and provide good education to students. But you go in the real world, and what you will find, people will believe anything and everything they receive on WhatsApp. So they will not spend 10 rupees, 2 rupees or 5 rupees to buy a newspaper or to buy a magazine or to subscribe a digital article, because they are getting free misinformation. They don't have to walk out to buy a newspaper or magazine. They're sitting at their home, they're just switching on their television set or going through their mobile, and they're getting all the misinformation they want to receive. So that is the world, and that is the real challenge in today's time, I feel. And that is the biggest starking difference of 20 years for me. And going forward, yes, as a journalist, that is our responsibility, that we have to fight for the fabric of India, for the idea of India, for secularism, and for basic values of Indian constitution. And we are not activists, okay? We are journalists. I know the thin line, and I always tell that I'm not an activist. Yes, except when it comes to gender role, I'm always a feminist, and I don't hesitate to say that I'm a feminist. But when it comes to journalism and activism, I'm on the side of journalism. We have specific role to do in the society and the hierarchy of our field. Activists do different type of work, but as a journalist, we have very very challenging days coming ahead. And unless we are going to do our homework neatly, we are going to do our homework properly, we cannot fight these challenges. So we have to study properly, we have to know who are our enemies, who are our competitors, why we are in journalism. We have to have that clarity in our mind.
That is very true. That is very, very apt, Alka, because it's what gives us confidence is the clarity of thinking, and dedication, because you need to be true to your discipline and you need to be true to yourself and your country. That is very important because issues may come up in multiple ways, but how you address them and with what, perspective and with what thought process. And, they say that winners never quit and quitters never win. So you have to, it's a everyday fight, as a matter of fact, to lift up yourself and create a new reality for yourself. So I think, Ramya, I think you got your answer, because a lot has changed, as ma'am has said very clearly, you know and we are evolving with every minute that is passing by. Moving on, Alka, I would like to ask you, you've had a very elaborate career. This is basically, we are on the second segment, where you could please throw some light on the careers in journalism as of today, and also give us an insight of your route, how you went through, and how you transformed, like your stint with Mirror then how you evolved from your early days. I think midday also you served for a while, and then so if you could please tell us your earlier like media stints, and then uh, how you I mean evolved with the different genres and beats of journalism, and what kind of challenges did you face, and how did you transform? Like you have spoken about vernacular background, and then so I would like to know, or we all would like to know your journey, how you transformed and made the most of your time, and emerged so strongly. So
I would say I have not emerged and the journey has not stopped. Every day it is a challenge. Every day you have to learn new skills. In nutshell, the answer is you have to keep learning new skills. There is, like, whoever you are, there is no excuse that you cannot say no to learning new skills. I will start with, before I give my own story, I'll start with Barkha Dutt's example. Barkha was a leading journalist in NDTV, and a few years back, she has started Mojo, that mobile journalism channel she is doing with her small team. Once upon a time, Barkha Dutt, as we have seen her, uh, was accompanied by a team of producers, video journalists, drivers, and her assistants and everyone. And now she has that small team with her, not like convoy. So my whole point is she has learned her way from all those big video cameras to mobile journalism, and she is doing similar journalism or impactful journalism in even in today's time. My whole point is, had she said no, I will continue to work in big fat like cars and with big convoy and big team, and I need those big cameras. In today's time, that is not possible because all the owners are cutting down news gathering budget. You will, once you join journalism, you will understand all these technical language. न्यूज गैदरिंग बजट मतलब क्या होता है, जो लोग रिपोर्टिंग को जाते हैं. So the budget which is spent on your travel, on your accommodation, logistics, and everything. So the budget on news gathering, work in Marathi newspaper called Sakal. So I was a Marathi journalist. From there, I continued my journey for few years in Marathi newspaper. I worked in Marathi tabloid called Mahanagar. Then I worked with broadsheet, which was Tarun Bharat, Marathi broadsheet. Then I hope I am audible, and because I'm not seeing anything. Yeah. Then I joined Midday, which was English tabloid. Then for 7.5 years, I joined IBN Lokmat News Channel, Marathi News Channel, and that was biggest transition. So we had to learn new skills. We were given vigorous training by our employers. Foreign trainers were there, and we tried to get whatever we could at that time. We read, we watched lot of stuff, we observed lot of stuff, we kept notes of, we had lot of curiosity, we asked many questions. I didn't know how to hold a mic in front of me. I didn't know how to give PTC, piece to camera. I didn't know how to speak in front of video camera. I didn't know how to ask questions on live television channel. So I had to learn on all these things. I had to put makeup, I had to do hair straightening. I had to wear different clothes, and I had no idea. I was not comfortable, but that was the rule at that time. And I said, okay, I learn. I will try to give a shot to everything. And I think to some extent I succeeded in it. I learned film producing. I learned video editing. Not all of it. On today's mobile cameras, you will find lot of applications are available for video editing. 10 years ago, that wasn't the scene, it was very difficult. So we try to learn every bit of every work in digital journalism, or to say TV journalism. And that helped me when after Mumbai Mirror, I joined digital journalism, because I can do a video recording from my mobile camera. Wherever I go, I can ask question, I can conduct interviews from my mobile camera. I can edit it on using a lot of available apps. I can do IGTV, and I did last year. I did 62 live sessions on IGTV, Instagram. So I'm more equipped with lot of skills. Of course, I keep reading, I keep meeting my people. Updating your sources is the biggest challenge in journalism, and I try to do that with sincerity. And new skills help me to reach wherever I have reached in today's time. In between IBN Lokmat and Times Digital Journalism, I worked few years for Mumbai Mirror, which was again challenge because I was working in a English covering important beats. Everything was important, and I did it with my skills. I think that gives your answer.
No, that was wonderful, Alka, because it is very important to keep learning. That we always keep telling our students, and evolving. That's, you know, a mark of a successful person, because he or she is not wasting time sulking, but, you know, using the time or utilizing the time in a progressive manner, and making the best out of the whole opportunities that we have, and utilizing the resources, as a matter of fact. Just hold on for a second. I think I'm just getting a call from the IT department. Abhishek, I would request you if you could just take this call. Yeah, so yes, Alka.
No, I don't know. I think I've done some.
Yeah, Alka, you're audible.
Okay. I don't know if you can see me still.
Is there a network issue? We cannot see you. If you could start your video, please.
No, video is on, but something happened.
There's a technical problem.
Yeah, Narendra. I don't know. Okay. Yes. I can see you now. There are 2-3 question answers in Q&A section. I cannot see you, Nima.
Yes, Alka. Sorry about I think there is a network fluctuation, which is why I think your video was frozen, and we were trying to fix it, and the technical team is trying to fix it. So I think the gist that we draw from this particular segment is that career is something that is an ongoing process, right? And it is a forever evolving process. We may start at point A, but we need to travel to, B, C. We need to be progressive. We need to, leave from somewhere in order to reach somewhere. And we need to equip ourselves also. Because without it, like what you said, कि मैं कभी भी अपने life में मैंने मतलब I have never given a reason to learn, to a reason to say a no to learning, in fact, है ना? Like what you're saying, कि you tried, and with the example of a very senior journalist, Ms. Barkha Dutt, and like she transformed. We have seen her doing We the People, and hosting the news at that time. We've grown watching her, and she has a very, very celebrated career in media. But today, nobody can stop you to do good work, as a matter of fact, and that is the biggest I think challenge, because the way she transformed with Mojo is remarkable, and the way she brought stories, and the way she reached out to people. That's a mark of an excellent journalist, as a matter of fact, because she didn't stop carrying out her responsibility. And I see that in you also, and which is why I would like to know, let us discuss about your challenges, Alka. Like, if you could speak about the pressing issues that you have covered. I'm sure you have gone through as a journalist. There were a lot of attacks that happened. There were challenges in deliberating certain issues like Dr. Narendra Dabholkar's case, or like the famines and the female feticide. So how and why? What I mean, of course, you are a sensitive person. You are a woman. You looking at the subject and interpreting, is different. Your interpretation is definitely different. But I would like to know your story. How have you? I mean, what made you do that, and how did everything transpired? We would like to know.
Yes, so to start with, I will tell you a story of my teacher. My political science teacher, Mr. Tople sir, is no more. When I was in junior college, 11th, 12th, that was my introduction to Indian constitution and political structure of our country. And of course, the freedom struggle and everything. I mean, in real senses. I mean, in school days, you don't get that maturity to decide what do you want to become and everything. At least I didn't know. So when he was giving us, teaching us political science, I understood the importance of journalism, the fourth pillar as we call it, and I decided no, I want to do this job with sincerity. And in my first year of junior college, I decided that, and I did not try any other field in my lifetime. Like I always, even in journalism there are various branches, you can become the editor, you can go and work on the desk, you can become a producer, video editor, you can work in the studio, you can work on various, like there are branches in journalism. But I had decided that I will focus on reporting, ground reporting, because for me ground reporting is first hand work. Mm. The kind of information I have, the kind of sources I have, the kind of understanding of ground issues I have, and the kind of work I want to do. If I gather new information firsthand, I can deliver what I want to do in journalism. So it is a very broad thought I'm trying to tell you in nutshell. Basically, why I wanted to become a journalist, because I have seen the worst. I have seen, we call people voiceless. They are not dumb or deaf. We call them voiceless because they cannot speak articulately the language which is heard by the politician, which is heard by the people who are in power. That is why we call them voiceless. It is not because they cannot speak. You have to understand when we said we are the voice of voiceless and all. I mean, we have no representation whatsoever to speak representing Dalits or Adivasi or farmers. I'm not a farmer anymore. Like I am like my family is in farming, but I do different job. I'm a service person now or salaried person. So I'm not a farmer, but I do stories related to agriculture and agrarian crisis. So why do I do that? Because I feel that those farmers are busy doing their jobs and meeting their daily needs and fighting their own challenges. They're so engrossed, so they don't have time to go to the people, media, and big studio and big newsrooms to express their issues and explain it. If I can do that in with my sincerity, I may uh, help them. Also, I by virtue, my job is to question the government, is to question the establishment. Unfortunately, what Ravish Kumar calls Godi media, it has become the opposite. The more you, I don't know the political line here, but the more you do the PR for the government, your prosperity is ensured in today's time. Or rather say earlier political time also, but I never preferred to be on that side, and I have by choice always remained on the side of Indian Constitution and on the side of people and not power. There is always a lot of struggle you will find once you start journalism. It is spoken, unspoken, seen, unseen. Challenges are there, pressures are there, which may be directly seen sometimes, which may directly not seen, but indirectly it will affect you. For instance, I will tell you a story. Once upon a time, I was doing a story of how 80 trees were going to chop for a development project, and the developer was also uh, revenue generator for the said media house. Okay, and I was told or asked to tone down or check your facts and this and that, but I stood by my story. So one thing, if your homework is perfect, if your facts are perfect, that is why I'm constantly talking about misinformation. If you're sure that whatever you are going to pitch to your editor, you're sure about the perspective, you're sure about the facts, you're sure about the history and the background check and analysis of the subject, nobody can stop you, trust me. Once my story was the my pitch was not accepted by media house. I put all the information because it was a national story, the story was verified. I put that story out on Twitter in the form of thread, and it went viral. So my whole point is, there is no need that you stop doing journalism, or you start crying that, oh, I cannot do this, I want to do this, I want to do this. There are multiple options available in digital era, and you can uh, try. That is my point. Second question you ask about challenges. There are multiple challenges as a gender. Yes, I wouldn't call that because I'm a female journalist, I was stopped doing something. But in general, in Indian society, I don't know about the foreign countries because I never lived, or I have never visited Canada, London, or US, or anywhere except Singapore, Bhutan, Sri Lanka. So my whole point is, in Indian society in general, we are very masculine, we are very patriarchal, we are very rigid, and uh, uh, what is the right word? I mean,
I understand the whole approach is.
पारंपरिकवादी है, बहुत बहुत ज्यादा है ना. छोटी छोटी चीजों को लेके हम लोग बहुत ज्यादा पेट्रियार्कल है. We keep questioning women's intelligence, we keep questioning women's judgment, we keep questioning उसको क्या समझता है, we keep questioning everything. Even if I remember, I came up with a front page story, and my male colleague went to my earlier boss and said that how this is a false story. So always you will find that there are people, there are competitors, not always male or female, but there are competitors who will try to pull you down in our society as a gender. So you have to be very firm. So unless you have confidence in yourself and in your brief, the way you are talking, the way you are going to protect your idea, you cannot do that. So my whole point is to know yourself better, to know your ideas better, to know your ideology better, to understand your beliefs, and to understand, okay, I was covering a story of atheist conference, I attended that conference the whole day, and I reported about it. It was a like small story about blasphemy laws, why they are opposing it and everything. My whole point is, if I don't understand what is atheist, what is non-believer, what is Hindu religion, I wouldn't be able to cover that story. And as a journalist, you have to have deep understanding of issues, in issues, policies, current affairs, पर्सपेक्टिव. कोई भी चीज ऐसा लगता है ना, जर्नलिज्म में, न्यूज रूम में ये बोला जाता है, अच्छा, when you join journalism, you feel everything is a news story, because you feel that you are going to do it for the first time, and then the editor will tell you, oh, just Google it, and there are 100,000 stories have been reported about it. So when you are going to pitch an exclusive, it is very challenging thing, because you really have to work on exclusive. You cannot randomly, people claim that random things are exclusive things, but you have to do your homework, and you have to say, nay, this is, I'm reporting for the first time, this issue is really unexplored issue in India. I'm not saying that everything in India, from every part of Indian society, everything is reported. No, it is not, unfortunately, because our country is diverse country. It is huge country. It is biggest democracy on the earth. So there are lot of issues. There are lot of opportunities for you guys, young journalists, to go out, and if you want to do, if you want to nurture your hobbies, your subject, there are a lot of issues available. Last thing I will talk about my, as you have asked, challenge about safety. Once in 2013, I not only I was attacked, my former colleague, videographer Sandeep Pawar, and I was attacked. Our team was attacked in Raigad district. We fought, like we filed a case, and we lost the case because police did not do their part very well, appropriately. So unfortunately, we lost the case. But the person who was involved in that attack was finally punished for his other crime. He was a hardcore criminal, political party member person who was ruling that village. And the case was, he was boycotting people who were filing RTI, and he was in charge of a fishermen's society. He was in charge of the ration dukan. He was in PDS, I mean. He was in charge of all economy of the village, and whoever will question him, he used to boycott them. There was a case filed by Advocate Asim Sarode. We tried to cover that. We went to his house to ask his side, and he, with some women, attacked us. Then I remember during IBN Lokmat's days, we were just sitting in a car after covering a school issue, and all the parents, they were instigated and sent by the school proprietor. So they tried to attack us, but we did not open the glasses, and we tried to have a conversation with them. I called my colleague Sudhakar Kashyap at that time. Sudhakar informed police. Police van reached there, and we all were taken to a police station at that time. Uh, we went to, I guess, along with my videographer, I went to Yavatmal. My footwear was broken. I used some like temporary footwear. We had to walk some 12 kilometers. It is not like this. All things are part and parcel of a reporter's life. There is nothing कि मैं ये बड़ा चढ़ा के बोलूं, इसके फोटो डालूं, ये ऐसा हुआ, मैं इतना चली उतना चली. No, this is going to be your life. Accept it. Don't accept कि मैं जैसे मूवी में दिखाते हैं वैसे एसी रूम में कोई तालियां बजाते रहेगा and you will enter in the newsroom. I mean, yes, once in a while that will happen in lifetime, but every day this is your life. You have to wake up early in the morning. You will get calls early in the morning, because whatever events are going to unfold, those events are not going to unfold or happen according to your availability. you know Doctors are going to go on strike anytime. Somebody will attack them, and Mard is going to say that, okay, we are going to do Khamband Andolan today, and you have to get up wherever you are staying. You have to try to board a train, and you have to reach to the destination at earliest. तो आप ये नहीं बोल सकते कि उबर नहीं मिली, या ओला नहीं मिली, या मेरी टैक्सी नहीं आया, या मेरा शॉफर whatever ड्राइवर नहीं आया. You cannot give those excuses. At that time, you have to think of fastest mode of transport, and you have to board the train. If you are working in Mumbai, all these smart decisions you can make once you are on the road. You will know, अच्छा मुझे दादर पहुंचना है अभी मुंबई से या पनवेल से, so you will know you have to go by Asiad, ST, private car, private whatever jet, yeah, a train. So once you are on field, you do 4 5 mistakes, you do 4 5 blunders, you own your blunders, you own your mistakes, you face the consequences of your mistakes, and then you grow, and then you evolve, and then you try to do better work. But for that, you have to work. If you don't work, you will not commit any mistakes. If you don't do any mistakes, you will not give yourself a chance of correcting. And for me, it has been like amazing journey. I'm not saying that I'm a perfect journalist. I'm sure I must have hurt some people's feeling also on the way. And I have always kept lot of gratitude towards people who helped me. When I was new in this city, I didn't have money to pay for the rent or advance for the tiffin. और पास निकालने के भी आपको 500 रुपए एडवांस लगता है. I didn't have that luxury because our payments at that time were not happening in the time. But I met good people, in Mumbai city or in India. The beauty of people is they're always ready to help you, and they will come forward. You have to ask for help. So in this city, I got people who offered me their big flat on less rent, on affordable rent, I can say. I met women who offered me tiffin services without asking for advance payment, and that is how I survived. And now I'm in the capacity where I can think of others, who don't have money, who those who are struggling. So keeping that gratitude in my mind, I try to help people. I mean, that is what I can do the best. And I think we should not become ignorant with
Yes.
money, power, and rich status of our financial this thing, as a human being, not only as a journalist. Yes.
Alka, that was wonderful. Actually, this segment was very inspirational to me, and I'm sure to all my students and the department. you know, one that it speaks volume of you, as a person, because and your belief and your ideology, you know, and the entire act of bringing justice. Now, what is justice? Doing justice not just with yourself, but every person that you meet in your daily life, in your work life. So I think students, it's amazing to hear Alka in this particular segment where she's talking about the core responsibilities of journalism. You know, it is it is a service. She's calling it a service. It's a responsibility. Please understand this part very, very clearly, because I think she's saying that I'm not a great journalist, but in my eye, she's an absolute, journalist, a worthy journalist, and an excellent journalist, because this is what she brings to the table. This is what her life is all about. And she is working on policy making. She's working on, showcasing the policies that are being set by the government, which are reaching out to the common man, and how influential and beneficial they are to the common man. And when she talks about, giving voice to the voiceless, now that is amazing. I mean, I always thought that women are the ones who are, the voiceless. But very nicely, Alka has defined the, giving voice to the voiceless is the people who cannot voice for themselves. And that is why she has taken up this initiative. And most of the journalists, in today's time, and that is what is the true essence of journalism, is taking up responsibility. And the way she has spoken about how she has navigated herself, what are the inspiration? The work itself is an inspiration in her life. Getting up in the morning and having hope and trying to give hope to the people, extending herself to reach out to people who are needy, and she also talks about privileges in life, thinking about us as privileged or underprivileged or discriminated. Actually, the segment was basically to discuss the careers in journalism, but it has spread over, with understanding of the discrimination and the privileges that one has. So we don't look upon ourselves as the women media persons, but we look upon ourselves as strengthened people, because we have the right education, we have the right resources, and we have the right attitude to, carry the responsibility ahead. So it is wonderful, Alka. I would like to now call upon Ritika Arora. I hope Ritika is with us today. Ritika had a question, she wanted to ask Alka ma'am. Nidhi, is Ritika with us right now?
Yes,
Yes,
ma'am.
ma'am, I'm here.
Or we can call upon Aishwarya. Yeah, okay.
Ritika.
Yeah. Ritika, please unmute yourself.
Ma'am, I'm here. Good morning.
Yeah. Hi. Ritika,
Hi.
introduce yourself and ask your question, please.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Ritika Arora, and I have a question from you. Like, what is that one thing which can help us to sustain as a journalist or content writer or an editor in journalism field? What is that one thing which will help us to improve ourselves and update ourselves?
Working on your language, I think, will help you. uh, like, you can do ground reporting. If your language is fine, you can express yourself better. If you want to go in and join content writing, which is, I would say, different than journalism, you can do, I mean, you can have uh, more opportunities if your language skills, writing skills are better. Or you can go in editing in journalism. Copy editing is another lucrative job, or translations. That is also good job. In digital journalism also, if you see in today's time, we need content, right? So I mean, media houses, not we as individuals. So yes, uh, if career wise you ask me, I think you should work on your language. If you want to work in whichever language, I'm not saying English is the best or Hindi is the best or Marathi is the best, whichever language you want to work in. As I see, there are many regional journalists these days, and they are doing fabulous job, you know, with in their languages. In India, very few people, if you can Google and get a percentage. Yes, in English journalism, you are paid well, but if you have like financial, if you don't have financial responsibility as of now, and you want to do real good work, I think this is the time you can give a shot to your regional language and try your hands. Why not?
Okay, ma'am. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Well, thank you, Ritika. I would now like to call upon Aishwarya.
Hi.
Aishwarya had
Hi. So I would like to
Aishwarya,
question.
please, you know,
Yeah,
yes, please go ahead.
yeah. Okay. Hello, ma'am. I would like to ask you a question about how is gender entwined in global politics and debates over trans issues?
Um, okay, I could not hear your question properly, but you are asking about trans issue, how trans issues are covered in today's time in journalism, and how those are taken in consideration in global politics. Okay.
Let me, yeah,
Yeah.
is it clear?
Yes,
Should I
now it is clear.
reiterate? Okay, all right.
So basically, that is a challenge. If you see, we don't know. Even I don't come from the LGBT community. As I said, I don't come from a tribal community or the Dalit community. It is the same way. It is the same way. Any male journalist can say, "Oh, I don't under because I'm not a female or I'm not a I am a male. I cannot write or understand what females are feeling." But it is not. You know, you can at least try to understand the issues, broader issues. So that is how I try to understand LGBTQ AI plus community issues. I'm not from the community. Whenever a few days back, I have written a script, I have written a news about how India's MBBS medical education syllabus is discriminatory and insulting towards LGBTQIA plus community, and how it is derogatory and full of misinformation. While we were writing that news report, we were struggling to find correct words, because I don't belong to the LGBT community, and I didn't want to write a single word which will be again derogatory or discriminatory. I know when men speak this language, men speak those words or utter those words, I immediately take an offense and I try to correct them, because you are speaking wrong language. This is not language of empowerment or of equality. You should learn those words and that language. You should give up on your feudal language. That is what I tell them when it comes to female gender issues and language. uh, I don't have that confidence when it comes to LGBTQ community reporting, but I keep to remain in contact or in touch with the community people. I have many trans friends, so I keep having a dialogue. I have people whom I can reach, on one WhatsApp message. If I have any doubt, hey, I want to write this word, is it correct or not? We were debating and discussing, should we write a domestic helper or domestic worker? In gender binaries. So those are the issues. Of course, we live in such a time that homosexuality has been decriminalized, but there are many challenges. Homosexuality or homosexual marriages are not legal in India, except Axis Bank, other banks and other financial institutions or government PF and other funds have not given that opportunity to the homosexual or trans partners to name their partners as क्या क्या बोलते हैं उसको, आई मीन फ्यूचर से वारसदार, हेयर, ओके, टू, और नॉमिनी बोलते हैं प्रॉपर्टी के, प्रॉपर यू कैन नॉट मेक देम नॉमिनी as a, if I am a bisexual, or if I am a homosexual, I want to name my partner. We are not married yet, but I want to make her nominee. The bank is not giving me that option. So if you don't understand all these nitty-gritties as a journalist, you will not be able to report this. So you have to learn, and you have to keep questioning the government, because government is in power. Your minister should discuss and debate all these issues, and you should hold the government responsible. The government has been announcing in Maharashtra and on national level a board for transgenders welfare. Beyond announcement, nothing has been happened. We have seen how trans have suffered during the pandemic. So you have to learn, talk to them, because you know, हम क्या भाषा सुनते हैं पॉलिटिशियंस की, वो ये बोलते हैं कि हमने बैंगल्स नहीं भरे हैं, हम शंड नहीं है, ये छक्का है क्या. So if you want to say someone is doing wrong things, we use the language which is, which shows women, trans, homosexuals in derogatory framework, in bad light. So this is not the language one politician should use. So as a journalist, you should be able to question the government कि आप क्या बोल रहे हैं, you know. But if you are not sensitized enough, you will not be able to question the government. And the last part is about representation. I have done interview with a trans person who became a Gram Panchayat member recently, Anjali Patil. You can go, and it is available on TOI Plus. Last year she was elected in Maharashtra. Then there is Disha Pinky Sheikh, a fantastic trans activist. She is, I guess, currently working with Vanchit Bahujan Aghadi. She speaks fluent political language. You know, you agree with her political, I mean the party politics or not, but she's politically aware trans person. In LGBT community also, people are on the either left or right ideological side, and their issues are more complex than we can think. आपने देखा होगा बहुत सारे ट्रांस लोगों को कुछ गिफ्ट दे रहे लोग पॉलिटिशियन, और उसके फोटो निकाल के पैंडेमिक में डाले गए. सो ट्रांस पीपल आस्क मी that would you like to see that you are a beggar, you are in a need, and somebody is portraying or somebody is milking out of your need or your financial this thing. So when you are carrying a news report and you are asking if Alka is donating something to somebody, please don't ask photographs which will show the other person without their consent. So all these small things, consent, whoever you are going to write about, please, please make sure every time if you are going to interview a domestic violence woman, if you are going to interview a rape survivor, if you are going to interview child abuse survivor, if you are going to interview a farmer who is telling you something off the record, and if you are going to name that person, please check about consent. And same with LGBTQ community. Many people have not yet come out to their parents and they may get in trouble. So you have to be, you know, aware of all these things. I have I am in touch with this homosexual couple. They have you know, kind of, they are divorced now, and they both of them are dating different women now. So you have to understand, you cannot be judgmental. As heterosexual people get divorced and they date a new person in their life, so the homosexual people, you cannot put them in heterosexual binaries. You have to understand that they are in the minority, sexual minority, and you have to ask for their representation in political scenario. Because if you are not going to ask, politicians are certainly not bothered about all these issues in our society. So make sure there are many groups who are happily available and ready to sensitize journalists. I took help of many such advocacy groups. So once you start your journalism, you can get acquainted with all these groups. You can get yourself enroll in online, offline training programs. You can get in touch with all these advocacy groups. There are a lot of literature available online and offline. by say Population First, say different NGOs, for your understanding, for journalists to write in correct political language. You have to be politically correct. Politically correct इसका मतलब ये नहीं होता है कि गवर्नमेंट के साइड से लिखना है. Politically correct मतलब ये होता है कि you have to be on the correct side of the issue. Okay, so there are a lot of literature available. Please take help of all these groups. If you want to do journalism for all these certain groups, you can let me know. I can put you in touch with the concerned NGOs or advocacy groups. Whatever possible, I will do. That is my word. So I hope that answers your question.
That was truly, truly wonderful, Alka, because we have been talking about the, ethics of ambiguity, one can say, because, we talk about the whole concept of existing, here. And of course, when, you have very well highlighted the points out here where to be on the right and to report it, correctly. That is a responsibility. And regarding the marginalized section of the society and the trans and the different gender binaries that you have brought up, indeed, I think this is one of the biggest challenges for the new generation, the generation that we are addressing today. As of now, they can identify with their challenges in future, like how Alka has identified, and she's being true to itself, and living it loud and living it, with full passion and compassion at the same time, and maintaining the ethics. So I think that's absolutely wonderful, Alka, because you are a living example, in its own self. And I think a lot of students are drawing inspiration from you and by your experiences. As a matter of fact, I would like to call upon Arjun. What's her name, Nidhi?
Mona.
Arjuman.
Hello, ma'am.
Yeah, Arjuman. Yes, hi. Arjuman, I'm sorry. Arjuman Bano is here with us.
Yes, ma'am. I'm
And
here.
I actually thought Arjuman is a boy, but then when Nidhi reminded me that it's Bano, then I said, oh my God, it's a girl. So Alka, please meet Arjuman Bano, and she would like to pose a question to you. Arjuman, please get with it.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. First of all, I would like to personally thank you for honoring us with your presence. And my question would be, how much freedom just journalists have in India? Though we have the rights to press according to our Indian constitution, how many rights does a journalist have, and how can they be strengthened in the upcoming times?
Yeah, politically hot question you have asked, critical question, I would say. Yes, we are living in very unfortunate time where press of freedom is labeled as anti-national, and you are labeled as anti-national if you oppose a question which is politically correct and from the constitutional point of view. But never mind, this is not the first time that journalism khatre mein hai or whatever. We have to keep all our guards high, and we have to keep fighting with our knowledge. Obviously, when I say fighting, it is not in any manner of violence. We have to go ahead with non-violence. We have to always endorse all non-violence ways of keeping the constitution and democracy higher and higher. And so when we have seen that anti-CA protest happened, we had to find out ways to report those stories. I had visited many nursing homes in Mumbai. Those are in existence before pre-independence. Those are in existence since pre-independence era. And I had to check that how many old Muslim citizens are visiting all these nursing homes to find out their birth certificates, because this NRC and CA has created fear among the population, so much so that everyone person who is of 90 plus years old, they never bothered about their birth certificate. Correct, their registration was not done properly before independence, but in today's time they are visiting all these small nursing homes and I had done a detailed reportage on this subject. So my whole point is, obviously, every day nobody will allow to report you same event. There are only alternate media houses which will allow you to do Shaheen Bagh आपको रोज रिपोर्ट करना है, ठीक है, that is important, but they will not allow you. So you have to find different ways. You have to fight for your freedom of speech. Do you remember Vasant Gurjar is a poet, and his Marathi poem Gandhi Mala Bhitla was not banned but became controversial because one of the right wing organization challenged it before the court. The case has reached to the Supreme Court, but the poet, the old man Vasanta Gurjar said, I will not say sorry for my poem. I am proud of my poem and I won't withdraw my poem from public sphere. So uh, that is the stand one has to take uh, for all of your freedom of expression. When we are talking about freedom of expression, we have to remember Gauri Lankesh, the fearless journalist. She was killed few years back in Karnataka state, neighboring state, along with other three rationalists. So why they were killed? Because the Indian Constitution has given us basic constitution, say article from 21, 19, whatever. They have given us fundamental rights. But people who are on the extreme thought process, feudal thought process, they think that no, you should not get freedom of speech, you should not get this liberty, you should not get this freedom. And so the opposition is so much that they have killed Dr. Narendra Dabholkar for his ideology and for his thoughts. They have killed Comrade Govind Pansare, who was a lawyer and activist for many years in his 80s, for his thoughts. They have killed Professor M.M. Kalburgi for his lecture. They have killed journalist Gauri Lankesh for her writing and for her thoughts. So that is the level. We say that we are different than Bangladesh. We say that we have helped Bangladesh when Bangladesh was created. But today, unfortunately, when Indian thinkers were killed, at the same time, we saw bloggers were killed in Bangladesh. So tell me, what is the difference in Bangladesh and India when it comes to freedom of speech? We are fighting on the same level. If you see globally, we are going through a different time where extremism and fundamentalism is fighting with democratic and peaceful values. And the question is, I think, very broad. It will take some time to give you different instances and how to fight and everything. But to summarize the answer, I will say that it is not only in India we are fighting. There are other countries also, but all the journalists, with the help of technology, have come up with solutions. And trust me, वो बोलते हैं ना, हर रात के बाद एक दिन होता है, वो वाली आज की कंडीशन है. Challenges are like there are many challenges, but you will fight with those challenges with your knowledge and facts and information. So just focus on your skills more than the challenges in your young age.
Thank you, ma'am.
Wow, that's absolutely wonderful, Alka. Because I mean, I really appreciate with so much of ease you touch upon the criticalities of life, you know, because I know these tangents are very, very tough and very challenging to deal with. But I think that's how your life has been. And, you know, students, as you can see, so many criticalities and crucialness in life, you know, where you're required, where your potential, your true potential. So, you know, what Alka has done here is she has not just spoken about marginalized people, she's not just spoken about women, she's not just spoken about other gender binaries, she's also spoken about policy making, she's also spoken about government's, you know, vision and perception. She's also talking about people's perception and people's needs and demands and, you know, requirements. Let's call it requirements because people are needy and whatever we are doing is for the people because we believe in our democracy and we are here to serve our democracy. And when we say that we are serving the democracy, which means we are serving our people. So the role is basically dedicated to serve people. That is the biggest lesson, I think. I don't think I think this is the biggest inspiration, and this must be the biggest inspiration, And moving on, I mean, we talk about big terms like empowerment and equality and the biases and the patriarchy and everything and the mindset and the approaches. But isn't it so wonderful? Just look at the panel, including Nidhi. I must say, all 6 of us, all women, today sitting and discussing the role of journalism, the future of journalism, envisioning, drawing lessons from the past, taking inspiration from a person like, Alka, who has lived it and creating and envisioning a future for us, which is so wonderful. I mean, the moment itself right now is so inspiring for me to look upon Ritika, Arjuman, Aishwarya, including, Ramya, and having Alka together. So, yes, we have contemplated on the freedom of press, and we have also spoken about
Dr.
the
Neema,
provisions.
if
Yes,
may I
Alka.
disagree with you,
Yeah.
I would say that, my dear friend Bhim Raskar sir, who runs great NGO for Panchayat Raj and empowerment of women, he always say that we need more Jyotiba for female empowerment. So
Very true.
I would say that I don't believe in exclusive women world. I would have loved to see 50% male partnership in this discussion. And we call this जब सभी मेल लोग चर्चा करते हैं बैठ के, तो we don't call it panel, we called it manel. So nobody should call this something like just female exclusive female discussion, become ये औरतों का कुछ discussion है. No, we are part of society, and we should always try to have inclusive partnership of all communities. So sorry to disagree on that.
No, I totally accept your disagreement, Alka, and the whole thing that I went by the moment that I could see on the panel right now. But I totally understand where you're coming from, because you are a true feminist and you believe in equality in full humanity, You don't compare between man and women. You want more inclusion, and definitely, I totally agree with what you say. And, it cannot be a world full of empowered women, because we need men. And, I know many good men who have supported women, and it's not the kind of mindset that has been created is somewhere that needs to be broken, and I'm sure you will agree to that. The world will become equal only when everyone will thrive to help each other and look upon each other with equality.
Feminism is not about hating men, it is about giving equal opportunity to everyone.
Absolutely. I totally, and I would like to thank you for correcting me, but I was just looking at the panel right now.
No problem. That is spontaneous thoughts. So don't take it otherwise.
In fact, I told one of our dear faculty, Abhishek, that get more boys, to ask questions to Alka ma'am, is because we would like to know the male perspective. Because, of course, women will come up with a lot of questions and women would be talking about it. But then the gender perspective will be set only when both the sides speak. Or, right now we are not in a position to include the others because of the lack of provision. Because I'm sure you're working on the policies and revising the policies ethically in terms of constitution as well, in terms of the general masters as well. I'm sure it's a very widespread, topic, which would require another 2.5-hour session with you to discuss the policies and how they can be revised and what are the initiatives that we need to take, in terms of bringing the change. So it's very wonderfully said by Mahatma Gandhi itself, be the change that you want to bring. And I think that's all we all should believe in, as a matter of fact. And right now we are on to the segment of question answers. We have received a bulk of questions, in our chat box. I'm sure you are also able to read them, Alka.
Actually not.
No?
If you
Okay,
don't mind, because
I will read out.
I'm not spending with
You
the
know,
hands.
Nidhi, I would, I would also want you to join us. There is Nishtha Kharbande. She had a question. Alka, are you able to hear us? Yeah. Yes, Alka, should we go ahead? Yes. So this is a question from Nishtha Kharbanda. What are the other ways you would suggest to make career other than core journalists? Or I think it's core
Sorry,
journalism.
can you repeat
It
that
says, what are
question?
the other ways you would suggest to make a career in journalism, I think, right? Or other than core journalist.
Other
Yeah,
than core journalism,
yeah, yeah,
I don't know, other than core journalism or other than core reporting,
yeah.
she's asking. But as I mentioned, there are if you see Sania Farooqi's show, she used to be a television personality earlier. Now she's hosting her own shows, interviewing all the Muslim journalists and Muslim personalities, global personalities on her television channel. About Barkha and other trying to develop their own model. You can, like as I said, during TV live interviews, so if you have a camera, you have a mic, you can like you have powerful information and your social media, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube. You can start or you can go ahead with small publication options. I would suggest that uh, don't restrict TV anchoring. But that is not life and that is not journalism. TV news reading or anchoring has its own shell, and people who get addicted to TV screens, they think that there is no life beyond that. And when one day you lost your you are going to lose your job or you are going to change your job, and then you will find it very difficult to adjust and accommodate with routine life. So don't make habit of the medium. Try to do journalism in any available medium. That is my advice.
All right, Nishta, I hope you've received the answer to your question. We would move forward with Satyam Pathare. He says that as India has the second most active internet user in the world, so because of that, the flow of information is easier nowadays. There is also a higher chance of spreading fake news through WhatsApp, social media, etc., that leads up to the instability in the country, hatred, and even riots. So, how can we tackle this issue?
Pratik Sinha is tackling already that issue. If you Google about alt news, you will find that in India, Bloomberg, alt news. Then there are, like, I guess the government has started. I mean, that is very irony, but ironical. But the government has also, central government started own fact checking thing. But yes, as I told you, misinformation is going to be a biggest challenge for politicians, for activists, for journalists, for academician, everyone. And because that is the easiest weapon which is used against information and against civilization. So what we can do, we can raise our voice in our community, in our family, in among our friends. We can say no, this is wrong information, this is misinformation. We can request our family members, we can request our friends, we can request the spreader to check the source of the information. I mean, as a citizen, as a journalist, we can do this much, right? And yes, if everyone owns some kind of responsibility, we can fight the misinformation war. But it is very challenging and critical, not only in India but globally also. As you must have seen during Trump's time, there was post truth era and there was a Fox TV news channel. So yes, that is very the days are going to be very challenging.
Yeah, well, very well said, Alka. There are a couple of students like Sucheta Bhattacharya, Anika Dubey, and Nikhil Gadgil, and all of them are basically hinting towards talking about a lot of information that has been found, and how should they be finding or identifying with the truth. How do they I mean, this is one of the questions that is
Yes,
posed by
I
Anika.
guess the source of the information, right?
Yes, yes.
So Abhi, if you want to do or if you want to focus on fact checking, there are fact checking short and long courses available. You can check for those courses. BBC, Bloomberg, Reuters, Google, all of these institutions, they provide you fact checking courses. Alt News has given mobile number, and if they receive a request for fact checking, Alt News also publish information which is like debunking misinformation basically. And global level there are other options available, and like if you are talking about much larger issues, there are always textbooks available. There are people who are expert in that topic. आपको मैंगो के बारे में कुछ लिखना है, there are experts who have spent years in that issue. If you want to write about Jallianwala Bagh, there are people who have written books and done research and PhD and what not on that topic. If you want to write about, okay, we are in Panvel, we are at Amity University's campus. If you want to know more about DB Patil, जिनका नाम देने के लिए एयरपोर्ट पे आंदोलन हो रहा है इतना सारा, so you can always go and check the literature available in history, and then you can say why DB Patil का नाम देना चाहिए या उद्धव ठाकरे का देना चाहिए या और किसी का देना, आई मीन नरेंद्र मोदी जी का देना चाहिए, उद्धव ठाकरे जी का देना चाहिए. So when all these poster wars are going on, misinformation, you can equip yourself with information. You have to read daily one regional and one English newspaper. That is a compulsory or must thing I would advise. You have to subscribe to magazines. You have to subscribe yourself to foreign newspapers. You have to read all available magazines. जैसे आप हिंदी पढ़ते तो हिंदी की जो लिटरेचर की मैगजीन है वो पढ़िए. इफ यू आर मराठी पर्सन, महाराष्ट्रियन है, मराठी लैंग्वेज समझते हैं तो मराठी में बहुत सारे मैगजीन्स अवेलेबल है. रीड दोज मैगजीन्स. You have to watch 1 hour daily news, current affairs news. जैसे तू तू मैं वाले shows नहीं. Okay, you have to watch what is happening around. That is important. Only binge watching Netflix and OTT platforms will not are not suffice to make you a good journalist. So spend some time, invest some time in learning and equipping and getting more proper information. It will help in long term, in future, to become a good journalist or good person. I'm not even talking about earning good money. I'm talking about you becoming a good person. So you can do that much, I guess.
Thank you, Alka. Thank you. Now we are actually moving towards the closure, and there is Fatima Zahra Gaur. She has asked a question: what should be the role of journalist when a government stops talking about important issues, and when media stops talking about it? So I think she's clubbing the government's role and the media's role together. If you could please shed some light on.
Yes, yes. So what we can do, if you're a journalist, it is very challenging for you bring such issue the notice of your editor. Even you will learn how to pitch your story. बहुत ही व्यावहारिक भाषा में जिसको बोला जाता है, आपका स्टोरी सेल करना है, तो वो सेल नहीं रहता है एक्चुअली. इट इज नॉट फ्रॉम द मार्केट पर्सपेक्टिव. You have to pitch your story well. So while pitching your story, you have to, because see, your editor or your senior is not going on the field. You have to inform them what is the reality and why this story is important, and why government is trying to hide the numbers, why government is trying to keep it under light, whatever the data, information, and everything. So what you can do, you can verify. My colleague Shruti, she had reported about the detention camps in so she had about it on page. The government, Maharashtra's new government, when it came to power, the first thing they did to build detention camps in Navi Mumbai. So had she not done her job, we would have never come to know that there were detention camps built in Mumbai or Navi Mumbai and for the implementation of NRC and CA. So we have to do a lot of legwork for our information. You have to keep talking to a lot of people. I guess Seema Mustafa had written once about why we need to linger around, ऐसे टहलते रहना जैसे बोलते हैं ना, journalist, if you are in reporting, you have to go and talk to common people, common folks. You never know who is your source. Trust me, never ever it is the only and only IAS officer, IPS officer, or who are in power will give you the news, because they will give you news when it suits their interest. They will not give you. When we say government किसकी बनी है? Government कोई white कपड़े में जो पुड़ारी है उनकी नहीं बनी हुई है. Government is become of all these officers, administration, जो गांव में अधिकारी है, from तलाठी, तहसीलदार to IAS officer, secretaries. ओके, तो ये लोग जब उनको चाहिए तभी न्यूज देंगे. When they want कि ये टॉपिक पे बहस ही नहीं होनी चाहिए, किसी को पता ही नहीं चलना चाहिए, that time your role is important to dig more and more information and bring it to the public notice. And trust me, there are good people in this world. Because of the good people, the world is going on, and they will come to your support. Uh, Whatever the topic is, you will find at least one person who has studied that subject. I will tell you one story. We all know that nobody, in our childhood, we used to use MTNL or BSNL के phone, है ना? आप सबके घर में आप तो यूज करते रहेंगे. But have you noticed how BSNL and MTNL is wiped out from our country? Have you ever noticed that what happened to these government companies? And once upon a time, they had best resources in the country in wireless network and wire network. What happened to them? So to tell the story, the political will decided that the private players will rule the sector, and government decided to wipe out BSNL and MTNL. And how did they do this? I have done many stories on the topic. कैसे MTNL के लोगों को आज सर्विस नहीं मिल रही है? How they, even without getting service, how there are customers who are trying to keep the company alive. And I have met the people who have done study on this topic. So my whole point is, government is obviously, I won't take names, but government is trying to serve the interest of few businessmen or big businessmen in this country, and so they are killing BSNL and MTNL. You can replace this subject with any of the issues which government is trying to push aside. You can do your homework, and you have to find the right type of editor to who will say yes, we will go ahead with this story. I mean, that is challenge. Once you are in the game, you know the rules of the game. You are currently outsider. Welcome to the field, and it is very challenging. Trust.
Alka, there is one last question. Actually, I was about to wind up because we have already, reached 12:35 right now, and we are about to, close the event. But there is one question that I cannot avoid it, and it is by Nikhil Gadgil. He says that still on news channel debates, there is not an equal ratio of gender. More chairs are reserved for men rather than women. How to change it as an audience? If I want to hear an equal view of both genders, how can I contribute? It's a wonderful question, and
Yes. So raise your voice first thing. Raise your voice irrespective of fear, like irrespective of who you are. Your voice matters in this country. You are a respected citizen of this country. तो डर के मत बैठो यार कि कौन क्या बोलेगा, मैं बोलूंगा तो आप बोलेंगे कुछ तो शुरुआत तो होगी, है ना? फर्स्ट थिंग. सेकंड थिंग, stop watching that channel. That is the best thing. As the TRP gets dropped, they will think what is wrong with our program. More and more people encourage more and more friends, colleagues, family members to not watch that channel, because it is nothing but machoism. It is nothing but patriarchal and feudal views, and it is not giving you equal views. I mean, a trans activist was saying on Twitter the other day that people come to us when they want to trans issues. We are citizen. We want to be vocal about all the issues. PDS issue, we are like, it matters to us. Health issue, it matters to us. Education, it matters to us. But लोग हमारे पास सिर्फ ट्रांस के इशू पे आपको क्या लगता है, अब ब्लाइंड के पास हम जाते हैं, ब्लाइंड के इशू पे आपको क्या लगता है, वैसे हम विमेन के पास जाते हैं, आपको क्या लगता है गैस महंगी हो गई, क्यों? मेल मेल का और गैस, मेल लोग खाना नहीं खाते क्या घर में? So unless we start asking these important questions straightforward, the situation is not going to change. Trust me. And from your language, the language which we use, you know, शादी होती है तो हम मराठी में क्या बोलते हैं? ती मुलगी दिली. We have given away this daughter to that person. We have to start questioning. अगर जर्नलिस्ट ये लैंग्वेज टीवी चैनल्स पे बोले, अगर जर्नलिस्ट ये लैंग्वेज बोले कि ये कोई अच्छे घर की है, मतलब कोई रिच है तो अच्छे घर की है, ये सभी जो बाइनरीज है ना, वो हम क्वेश्चन नहीं करेंगे तब तक जेंडर का इशू नहीं सॉल्व होगा. आई एम ग्लैड दैट निखिल you felt that this is important issue and you should raise it. I would encourage you to read all the literature by Phule couple, and the wonderful work Maharashtra's social contributor have done in Maharashtra, and then you can expand your knowledge with India's social activists or gender activists to say. And yes, the challenges are enormous, but we don't have to stop. Remember, I can speak because Savitribai Phule stood up. Savitribai Phule took all the nonsense of those time, and she fought and she said, no, women should go to school, girls should go to school, girls deserve education. And so we owe it to next generation. We owe it to our social activists and reformers who thought that widows should get married, who thought that women should not get married in little age, and who thought that we deserve better. So we owe it to next generation. Thank you very much.
Very well said, Alka. I think Savitribai Phule is the champion of women's education, and in fact, for a gender-based program, I would rather start my program with the Savitri Vandana, you know, in order to give tribute to Savitribai Phule, because if she would not have, you know, initiated women's education, we would not have been here. One. Plus, the contribution of Jyotiba Phule was indeed remarkable because he spoke for equality, because women's education was and women's empowerment is affected by caste, class and gender. And, you know, it's a long fight that needs, you know, it's a long battle, you know, but the war is still on, I must say that. And we come to a closure to the new interventions in journalism, a gender perspective. And I would like to hand over the session to Nidhi. I know a lot of students have raised questions. Shreya Balamurli, Nikhil Gadgil, Shreya Mukherjee, to a lot of them, including Nirmiti Pimpal Khare, who wanted to basically ask about the role of news channels and, you know, in today's. Would you like to say something on that front, the role of news channels? And
yes, I will not take much time. Recently, we were in a discussion. Ravish Kumar, Sania Faruqui was there. I forgot the participants from Chennai, a trans community member, and I was there. So we were discussing that why we should ignore, as I just now told you, that switch off that channel. But it doesn't stop there. You are switching off the channel, but the problem is, which is larger issue, and that's why I keep telling that we cannot discuss everything here. The larger issue is these are called mass channels, mass electronic, okay, because they play with your minds. Your matlab mass के mind के साथ ये game करते हैं. It is like when you switch on the news channel, you are taken into some virtual reality. you feel that we are in certain reality, which is a virtual reality, which is not true, uh, but you are made feel in certain way, and you will switch off the channel. But the channels are mainly Hindi channels, then the regional channels, and obviously English channel are watched by thousands, and that is why they are called opinion makers. Though they are using misinformation, though they are using their ideology and their political interest to serve their interest, they are playing with the country's fabric and country's idea, uh, they are manipulating your thought process, and they are manipulating the way you eat, you think, you dress up, and you live your life. In today's time, if you want to name your child Noor, Fatima, Alka, or Nima, or Nidhi, you will obviously go with the safer options. That is unfortunate. In today's time, if you are a mother of a adolescent child, you would advise, or you will think twice that, oh, should he mingle with all caste and all religion, friends with all religions and caste or not? That is the saddest part of our country, we should not make friendship based on religion or the financial status, or based on the caste. In fact, I would suggest that you should focus on making friends from underprivileged background. You should make sure that you have friends from all caste and all religion. Then only you will understand the meaning of diversity and colors of diversity in your life. If you are going to live in a ghetto of certain majority or minority का जो bombarding शुरू है ना अपने देश में, if you are going to live in no, I am going to live for majority or Hindu. No, we don't want to make this country Hindu Rashtra ever. That wasn't a dream of India. That was a dream of Pakistan, and that is why Pakistan is suffering. We have never seen a dream of making a country based on religion. So if the government is trying to push you in certain direction, say no and stand up for yourself, stand up for your own future. हमारा तो जॉब हो गया है, 17 साल निकल चुके हैं. The challenge is more critical for you guys, and so you have to be a very aware about your choices. If you are going to marry, if you are going to have interfaith marriage, बी अवेयर एंड स्टैंड अप फॉर योरसेल्फ. आप बोलेंगे नहीं नहीं पेरेंट्स को ऐसा लगेगा, तो कभी कुछ कर ही नहीं पाएंगे ना. दिस इज वन लाइफ एंड यू हैव टू फाइट फॉर योर आइडियाज एंड योर चॉइसेस. And if you are not going to make your own choices fearlessly, then who else is going to make? How are you going to speak up on these issues in future? And how are you going to promote all these issues if you're in personal life not going to follow all these issues? So when you are saying that we have to say no to rituals, whatever, so you have to live that life. If you are a believer, I wouldn't say that. But if you are a non-believer, if you are saying that rituals are extortion, as Jyotiba Phule said, you have to read and then make your thought process very clearly. So yes, it is a lot of uh, it is going to be a journey full of challenges, but I wish you best luck.
Well, thank you, Alka. It was indeed enlightening and wonderful. I'm deeply, deeply indebted to you, because these words are very important for the students to hear, because they need to know the reality, they need to know the truth, and they need to know the real perspective towards life. And I think, I'm sure if this session has influenced and inspired me, I'm sure each one of us is thrilled to have you here and listen to you, and listen to your story and your experiences and your vision. It's wonderful. Thank you so much for being a part of the new interventions in journalism, a gender perspective. Thank you so much. I would now like to hand over the session to Nidhi to address a vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. I would like to thank.
You're muted. Alka, you're muted. If you could please come again.
I said that my email ID, I will share my email address with your students.
Yes.
Any of you, if you want to ask some questions which I'm not able to answer right now, anyone can get in touch.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. We will certainly divert those students to you. Thank you. Yes, Nidhi.
Yes. So I would like to conclude the session with a formal vote of thanks. And as they say, gratitude is a song of heart. Sir William Shakespeare has said once that I have no other answer made, but thanks, thanks, and thanks. On behalf of ASCO, I want to extend our heartiest thanks to Ms. Alka Dupkar ma'am for such an insightful lecture and enlightening our students with interventions in journalism. Thank you for sharing such an inspirational journey with us. And on behalf of all the participants, I would say that we are spellbound and encouraged with your personality, hard work, and experience. Thank you for setting such an example for us in the field of media and mass communication. Actually, can't thank you enough, but thank you again. We would also like to thank our patrons, Dr. Ashok Chauhan sir, and I would thank and wish Honorable Chancellor Dr. Aseem Chauhan sir, Honorable VC, Lieutenant General V.K. Sharma, AVSM sir, Registrar Dr. Hira Vyas sir, Dean Academics Dr. Shrikant Charati sir, our HOI Dr. Neema ma'am, Director Media and PR Mr. Narendra sir for giving us the opportunity to organize such an interactive webinar on new interventions in journalism and gender perspective. I again extend my sincere thanks to HOI Dr. Neema ma'am for conducting such a wonderful event. I thank all the faculty members for contributing to the success of the event. I also thank the IT team of Amity University, Professor Dr. J.S. Sodi sir, and Mr. Kapil Solanki and Mr. Puneet Chauhan for supporting us with all the technical assistance as always. Last but not the least, I extend my thanks to all the dear students for all your questions and contribution to the program. Thank you so much.